We about to go back on tour. The 5th spot of the family food tour, Atlanta. We'll be there soon. If you know any mom and pop shops that have great food, great customer service, but need the marketing, please either email me, DM me, or leave them in the comments below. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Y'all be safe. Atlanta, here we come. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about it. Every restaurant that me and my family go to, we were either A, invited by the restaurant themselves, or B, was told about the restaurant 100+ times. From locals, from people who mention me, from people who email me, DM me. 99% of the time, I never go to a random restaurant. With that being said, my opinion was asked for. So many narratives being pushed, and it's insane to me. But let's be honest. What else do you want from me?
In this video, we're delving into recent events involving Kieth Lee, a TikTok food reviewer who's embarked on a food tour in Atlanta. Kieth is well known for his candid food reviews on TikTok, and in his recent experiences, Atlanta has ignited a wave of controversy and public debate. We're going to explore the incidences and impact that this has had on both Kieth and the local residents. So Kieth Lee usually makes content based on the viewer's suggestions. Basically, he asks what place he should bop into and what place he should review, kind of like Chicken Connoisseur that we had over here, who would go through all the notorious London chicken shops and review them. And he was well known for being very harsh and very candid with his reviews as well. So with fans' recent suggestions, that's actually led him all the way to Atlanta, Georgia. And interestingly, apparently Kieth had no intentions of even going to Atlanta before his viewers actually requested it. So you'd think that Atlanta's got some good food, right?
I really just wanted to say I do appreciate Kieth Lee for stopping by our restaurant and trying to show us love. It is very unfortunate that we couldn't serve him and his family. We would have loved to, okay? But he's right. We don't take to-go orders on the weekends, and the simple reason is because we do love and appreciate the people who come and support our restaurant.
Yo guys, if you're enjoying this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for all the support recently. Thank you for over 1,000 subscribers. It really does mean the world. It really all is just very crazy to me, so I just really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Anyways, enough of me waffling. Let's get back into the video, shall we?
And win for losing. I understand everybody gonna have an opinion on the situation. You can disagree with me. You cannot like what I say. Completely understand. I'm okay with that. But when my safety and my family safety start coming into play, that's where I draw the line at. But what can't happen is when my family or the restaurants or anybody's safety start coming into play. It's absolutely overboard.
From MMA fighter to food reviewer. Before his culinary adventures, Kieth Lee was known as an ex-MMA fighter with a background in the UFC. So Kieth Lee possesses a knowledge on what it means to really hurt someone's feelings or physically hurt someone. So it's interesting to note that Kieth Lee has a brother, Kevin Lee, who was also in the MMA. And Kieth Lee's substantial transition from fighting people to the food world has amassed over 14 million followers on TikTok. So as Kieth Lee embarked on his food tour in Atlanta, he discovered quite the unusual restaurant scene. Reviews, comments, and articles have suggested that many restaurants in Atlanta have peculiar rules and unique customer service practices. Now, it's interesting to note that some of these practices can be seen here on one of the restaurants that Kieth attended called the Real Milk and Honey. Now, you've got loads of rules like no hibernation rules and all these other things that are very foreign to me in the UK. We don't have these kind of strange, I don't know, you just walk in, order your food, and, you know, no one really talks to you. Here, we don't really like to be interacted with, to be honest. It's like, you know, we expect everyone just to adhere to this British dullness of behaviour where no one really acts out of line unless you're in a Wetherspoons after 5 p.m. So this restaurant, the Real Milk and Honey, was one of the first that Kieth actually visited on his tour. And this visit, surprisingly enough, resulted in a series of negative events that affected his family. So first of all, the restaurant initially refused to take his order over the phone, so he was like, fine, we'll come and pick it up then. And then when Kieth arrived to the restaurant, he was told that they were closing early for a deep cleaning. And after being told this, he could still see that people were either collecting food or being served food, so he thought, something's wrong with this place here.
Yeah, he told them, they told him, when he walked in, they wanted to get him a table ASAP, but we told him we've been sitting in the cars, couldn't sit down, and they tried to let him skip in front of us. He like, nah, if they can't eat, I don't want to eat either, because how the hell y'all gonna give me a table and don't get them no table just because y'all know I got social media?
So another one of these rules that didn't really make any sense to Kieth was the mandatory gratuity charge of 18%. Now, tipping over here is just such a foreign concept. We don't really do it as much as you guys. However, you know, if we're at a restaurant, well, it's up to us how much we tip. We're not told that we're supposed to tip a certain percentage. And I think if you try to tell Britain over here what to tip, we'd all have an uproar. There's also limitation on party sizes and like how many people you can bring to the restaurant. I think it's something, I don't know, there's just some weird wording to it. And this isn't the only example of conflict that the Real Milk and Honey and Kieth have had. So following Keith Lee's obviously negative review of the Milk and Honey, the first response from the restaurant was a classic PR statement expressing apologies for the poor service, etc, etc, and they promise internal corrective actions regarding communication and service. However, as fine as that is, later a video surfaced, seemingly featuring an owner of the restaurant, just kind of openly dismissing Keith, basically just going, "Who's Keith Lee?"
Did you see this Keith Lee video about the Real Milk and Honey?
And who is this Keith Lee?
Daddy, you don't know Keith Lee?
Yeah.
No.
Just like that, just really snarky kind of behavior. So while the majority of his viewers appreciate his honest reviews, it appears that the Milk and Honey does not. And this leads us on to the next thing, where it's not just the Real Milk and Honey that Keith has found a beef with, it's almost like he's found a beef with Atlanta's entire restaurant chain, where he's basically been receiving tweets that are threatening him, basically saying, "Hey, people put their life savings into these restaurants, man, and you're just going in and just giving them a bad review and you're ruining their whole business," and all this kind of stuff, where it kind of negates the point where, like, at the end of the day, you're supposed to serve good food and you're supposed to have, like, good service as a restaurant. And if you've put your whole life savings into something and you put so much effort into it and, you're just trying to save black business and stuff, you should make it good. And if you've got a brother Keith coming around and he gives it a bad review, hey, I'm gonna trust my boy Keith. Can't lie. So yeah, a vocal minority has basically began to criticize Keith for giving negative reviews to restaurants. And they argue that he should only review black-owned restaurants positively. And this wave of criticism not only was aimed at Keith, but it was also sent to the restaurants involved as well. So it's like, really, you can't win. And I feel bad for Keith. He's just trying to, he's trying to help the community, if anything. So Keith Lee's response to all of this is he maintains his honesty and his commitment to very unbiased food reviews, which is a good thing. We can't have him just running away, and I don't think he would, because he's literally a former UFC fighter, so why would he back down from food reviews? And his main point is that he made it very clear that he's not interested in any type of special treatment because of his online social media following. He basically expects to be treated like anyone else who walks into a restaurant that he's reviewing, because he's reviewing the service and quality of the restaurant, not his like special VIP treatment because he's a food reviewer and all that kind of stuff. And Keith also stresses that nor him or his family would consume food until the people that have been waiting in line at this place had been served before him, because he's just there to wait in line like anyone else. He just doesn't want a completely unique experience at all. So his dedication to being true and sticking to his principles is very commendable, I will say that. So all this presents a massive dilemma for Keith, unfortunately, and as a result of the escalating controversy and negativity, it seems he found himself in a paradoxical situation where neither a positive review would satisfy the audience, or a negative review would satisfy the audience, or a positive review wouldn't satisfy the restaurant, or a negative review wouldn't even satisfy anyone. His reasoning for doing this gets a bit deeper when you actually take into account that, yeah, him and his family have been threatened by the community because of him giving negative reviews. So why would he place his family well-being in danger by continuing to do this tour of Atlanta for businesses that clearly just don't have their soul in it?
Especially when I was asked to give my opinion, because you telling me my opinion only matter if it's positive, because if it's positive, you got my face plastered on the wall and you saying Keith Lee been here, but if it's negative, I need to sit down somewhere and you don't know who I am. That's crazy to me. It was so much positive that happened in Atlanta that was shunned by the negative. It was so many restaurants we was blessed enough to help. We went to an array of restaurants like we always do at every city. I'm going to be 100% transparent, 100% candid. Me and my family will postpone touring if other cities going to be like this. Every review not going to be the best. I'm going to be 100% honest. If you want me to come, please understand, I will be honest. I don't mean no harm. I don't have no malicious intent. I mean that, and when I say it, I mean it. People be like, well, you know what you're doing. You know if you give a bad review, people are going to come and flood it with hate comments. What else do you want me to do? I'm telling people not to go and leave hate comments. I'm telling people not to leave negative comments. I'm telling people make their own opinions. You want me to lie and say I had a good experience, or you want me to only post the videos when I have a positive experience? Then all of the videos I post is only gonna be positive experience. Then the narrative is gonna be pushed and I'm only trying to be positive, and we're gonna end up in the same situation. And on top of that, I think something that's getting lost in translation. When that happens, the restaurants that we are blessed enough to help won't be helped in the same manner, because people won't show up in the same way, because my reviews would be inauthentic. One of the reasons people show up the way they do is because they know I'm being honest and I'm giving my personal opinion and my personal perspective on the situation. But if I don't do that anymore, it won't be the 3 or 4 hour wait times, and now we won't be able to help business owners, and we won't be able to give back to the community. In the grand scheme, that's what this is about. It's about giving back. It's about giving back to the community. It's about stimulating the economy. That's what it's about. All the other stuff, I'm a simple man in real life. As long as me and my family healthy and safe, and we can live a comfortable life.
But yeah, Keith still maintains that the positive impact of all of this is that his reviews are intended to help the community and to help their businesses grow by promoting genuine businesses that he genuinely appreciated, and then providing feedback to the ones that could use some improvement, which is, you know, that's the way things should be. And it's clear that his reviews have obviously helped a lot of businesses grow, and he has a lot to showcase in the way of his positive impact on local communities and local restaurants and stuff. So in summary, Keith's food reviews have stirred quite the significant controversy, sparking intense debates over the role of honesty in the restaurant review community. While some continue to criticize him for giving those honest and negative reviews, Keith remains committed to providing unbiased opinions, ensuring fairness in his assessments. And despite all these challenges, he continues to review restaurants to this day to help local businesses grow and the community improve. So I'm gonna end the video there. If you're new here, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one. Peace.